Imagine walking past a mirror and suddenly realizing the reflection is you, not another animal, not a rival, not a stranger, but yourself. For humans, this moment happens in early childhood. But for most animals, a mirror is confusing, threatening, or completely meaningless. Some attack it, some try to mate with it, some run away in fear. Yet a tiny, extraordinary group of animals does something shocking. They pause. They study, they test, and eventually, they understand the impossible truth. That the creature staring back is not another being, but their own self. This ability is called mirror self-recognition, and it may be one of the clearest windows into animal intelligence, consciousness, and awareness. Scientists use a simple but powerful experiment, known as the mirror test. An animal is marked with a colored spot on a part of its body it cannot normally see, like the forehead, or behind the ear. Then it is given access to a mirror. If the animal touches or investigates the mark on its own body rather than on the mirror, it suggests something profound. The animal recognizes the reflection as itself. Passing this test doesn't just mean intelligence, it hints at self-awareness, memory, and a sense of identity. Let's begin with one of the most famous mirror champions, chimpanzees. When chimps first encounter mirrors, they often react aggressively, thinking the reflection is a rival. But over time, their behavior changes. They begin making faces, moving their hands, inspecting their teeth, and touching marks placed on their bodies. Some chimps even use mirrors to examine parts of themselves they can't normally see. This isn't random behavior, it's deliberate self-inspection. Their closest relatives, bonobos and orangutans, show similar abilities. Orangutans, in particular, display calm, thoughtful mirror interactions, almost as if they are quietly studying who they are. Now let's dive into the oceans, where one of the most astonishing mirror recognizers lives, dolphins. Dolphins don't just pass the mirror test, they seem fascinated by it. When marked, dolphins twist, turn, and position their bodies to get a better view of the mark. They don't treat the mirror like another dolphin. Instead, they use it like a tool. Scientists believe dolphin self-recognition is linked to their complex social lives, advanced communication, and highly developed brains. In the silent language of the sea, dolphins may possess one of the deepest forms of self-awareness outside humans. Even more surprising are elephants. These gentle giants are known for their emotional depth, long memories, and social intelligence. When elephants were introduced to massive mirrors, their reactions were unforgettable. After initial curiosity, some elephants began inspecting their own bodies, touching marks on their heads with their trunks. One famous elephant repeatedly touched a white X painted on her forehead, something she could only see in the mirror. Considering the size and complexity of an elephant's brain, this discovery reinforced what many suspected. Elephants know who they are. Then comes one of the biggest shockers in animal cognition, magpies. Yes, birds. For a long time, scientists believed mirror self-recognition was limited to mammals with large brains. But magpies shattered that assumption. When given colored marks and mirrors, magpies tried to remove the marks from their own feathers. Their brains are tiny compared to mammals, yet their behavior suggests self-recognition. This discovery forced scientists to rethink intelligence itself, not as brain size, but as neural efficiency. Another unexpected mirror pioneer is the cleaner rasa fish. At first, the idea sounded impossible. Fish recognizing themselves? Yet experiments showed that when marked, these fish scraped their bodies against surfaces. After seeing themselves in mirrors, behavior consistent with self-directed action. While still debated, these findings opened intense discussions about how we define self-awareness. Perhaps consciousness exists on a spectrum, not a single line. Back on land, Asian elephants aren't alone. Some studies suggest that giant pandas and even horses show partial mirror understanding, though results vary. Horses, for example, don't always pass the traditional mark test, but they display behaviors suggesting they understand reflections are not real animals. This raises an important question. Are we testing animals in a way that truly matches how they experience the world? Interestingly, dogs, despite their intelligence and emotional connection to humans, generally fail the mirror test. They rely more on smell than sight. A mirror offers no scent, so it holds little meaning. This doesn't mean dogs lack self-awareness. It means our test may be biased toward visual thinkers. Some scientists now propose alternative self-recognition tests based on smell, sound, or memory. So what does all this mean? Mirror self-recognition isn't just a cool trick. It suggests an animal can separate me from not me. It hints at empathy, planning, and even morality. Animals that recognize themselves often live in complex social groups, show cooperative behavior, and display emotions like grief, joy, and compassion. The mirror, in this sense, becomes more than glass. It becomes a doorway into the animal mind. But here's the most fascinating part. Self-recognition may not look the same for every species. Humans obsess over their reflections. Animals may use mirrors only when useful. Intelligence doesn't need vanity. Awareness doesn't need ego. Nature expresses consciousness in many forms. Some loud, some quiet, some swimming in oceans, some flying through the sky. As science advances, we are learning a humbling truth. Humans are not alone in self-awareness. We share this planet with beings who can think, feel, remember, and recognize themselves as individuals. Every time an elephant touches a mark on its face, or a dolphin studies its reflection, it quietly challenges the idea that humans stand apart from nature. So next time you look into a mirror, remember, you are part of a very exclusive club, one that includes apes, dolphins, elephants, birds, and perhaps many more species we have yet to understand. The mirror doesn't just reflect a face, it reflects a mind. And in the animal kingdom, some minds are far more aware than we ever imagined.